Hello and welcome back to Oxycraft. I have a name tag. It's a bit strange. Or is it? Or do we have another friend on the server? We do. I'm on the wrong screen, so I can't actually tab. I have another account, so we can make some awesome time lapses. So we're going to be using this guy today because today, as I mentioned at the end of last episode, we've got some huge plans. This is going to be a long episode for me. Hopefully a super exciting episode for you guys. And I'm very excited to get started with this. So, the first thing we're going to need to do is, well, switch to the normal view. Okay, that's a little bit better. No name tag today. Well, our friend has left us. He's now logged off. But yes, it's going to be really, really cool. It's something I've wanted to do for a while, and I figured, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. I'm just going to buy the bullet, get a new account, and we can make some really, really cool stuff. But I think there's probably a bigger question going on right now, and that is, where am I? What am I doing? And why am I here? Well, I shall tell you now, fellow audience. I think anybody who plays this game a lot probably knows exactly what we're doing up here, and the reason why we're above a deep ocean quite far away from spawn, and the reason why last time I mentioned that if we left this in the middle of spawn, it would create kind of a problem. We're building a super huge mob farm. Now, this is going to... Oh, it's raining. Very nice. This is going to cause quite a few issues in many different senses. Obviously, we've got the whole lag issue, which is why I'm quite far out. So we won't be loading this chunk unless we come here on purpose, which is kind of how I want it. So we can come here, we can do our thing, get some drops, and then go home, and it will all unload and not lag out the server. The other problem we are going to have is the sheer amount of resources. Now, I'm actually going to have to do this in parts. I'm using one of Mumbo's designs, which I would find a link for, but I don't know if there's specific tutorials. It's part of his latest Let's Play. Anyway, you'll be able to find it very easily. If I find one, I'll link it. But we're going to be following that. Now, there are a few issues with it. Like I said, resources. I can build a couple of platforms now, but we're going to be missing a few things. So this is going to be kind of a work in progress. We're going to get a few levels in. But one of my biggest issues actually at the moment is string for dispensers. That's what I don't have enough of. So we're going to get a few platforms in. And then the killing platform is going to be the second problem. I will not have enough iron for that many hoppers. This is going to be a 6x30 area where the mobs will fall on, which would mean I'd need to get 900 pieces of iron or 900 hoppers. I can't remember which way around it is. It might be 180 hoppers, 900 pieces of iron. That sounds about right, actually, yeah. That's probably what it is. That is way too many pieces of iron for one man. I will do this eventually, but for now, we're going to try and do this minecart style. Now, I know there's been a lot of problems in 1.9. I don't know if it's still in 1.9.4, which is what we're in now, but these things are unloading when you leave the chunks, which we're going to be doing a lot. So I'm a little bit worried about that, but for now, that's going to have to do us. I think initially, we're just going to have it so that they land on the thing, and we're just going to run back and forth and pick everything up. I know it's kind of lame, but that's what we're going to start with until we've got enough string for enough dispensers to build more rooms, till we get more iron and do more things and other stuff as well. I've spent way too long in this little view talking about things. Let's start doing stuff. So the first thing I need to do is get myself a Nether Portal. Like I said, we're not terribly far out. My speakers are so loud. We're not terribly far out, but we're far out enough that I'm lazy and don't want to ride a boat all the way here again. So what I'm going to do is try and do the Nether Portal thing. Now, if I understand this correctly, and I probably don't, let me just see. Yes, I've got my little calculator open. So we should do this, and then this should take us out 87, 90, 147 in the Nether. Let's find out the hard way. Where are we? Okay, so we're nowhere near there. So in fact, maybe I misunderstood. Maybe what we're supposed to do is... no, I'm just misunderstanding it. Now we need to find 87, 90, 147. So that's going to be over this way. All right, there we have it. So this here, I believe... Yep, this here is the block. So if I'm right, we build another portal here. This is something I did when I first started playing the game years and years and years ago and have never done since. So I don't quite know if I'm completely right, but I'm hoping that maybe I might be. So we shall find out. Oh, that's not the right one. There we go. So now, in theory, if I light this portal, I don't know how much room the portal needs, and go through it, this should take me back out to where we were last. If it does... Perfect. We should be able to come back through, link this up to the main Nether hub. Yes, I have done a mince raft. I am success. All right, perfect. it works. And going back through works as well. The one thing I did forget to find out was where the home Nether Portal was, but that won't be too hard. Like I said, we're not actually too far from our base, so we can just head back to spawn after I've done some building. I'll do this off camera and just sort of find out where it is and build a path. So that's no problem. I think now's the time we try out our new friend. Well, that is the platforms built. I actually built this a lot lower than I wished I had of, but to be honest, I think we're going to spend most of the time AFK above this platform and above the couple of layers we have, so it shouldn't really matter. I mean, I think the ocean floor's probably about, what are we on here, 90? So probably about 60 blocks down, maybe. That might be a little bit optimistic. But hey, what we're going to do now is I'm going to place in the dispensers. Now, this is what I definitely don't have enough of. It's mostly string, which obviously will be solved once the thing's built, but to build the thing, well, I need more string. The point of these is to push out water. So maybe I'll give you a little bit of an explanation. Some of you will know exactly what this is and how it works. Some of you won't have a clue what I'm doing. The idea in this is going to be a big dark room where mobs spawn. They're going to spawn on this platform here, and there's going to be a hopper clock. And that is going to, in certain intervals, it's going to click these twice and push water out so it pushes the mobs off. Down onto their killing platform, mobile telephone, please be quiet, thank you. And that is the way that we're going to do that. So I've just got to place these in. I figured I'd bring you in, give you a little bit of a progress update, show you where we are. And then I'm going to continue building. Alright, there we go. That is the first level in place. This literally tiles upwards. Actually, as many times as we want, as long as it's in range to spawn. I'm actually thinking I'm going to start with 3. I've played around with 3 on a test world, and it spawns pretty quick. So I think 3 is going to be good enough for now. Maybe eventually we'll scale to 5, 6, 7, or 8, and we'll see where we go from there. But this is pretty much it. Obviously, we've got the opening here, which I will fill in like the other side, but I kind of need it at the moment. So from here on, it is literally just going to be the same thing, placing blocks and grinding. So I'm going to record a bunch of it, maybe another time lapse. I'll be honest, I think I might be getting carried away with them. But hey, they're fun. We'll see what happens. I'm running out of blocks consistently, so I'm gonna plant these here. This feels so much like Skyblock right now, but we are doing good. We've got the second and third spawning platform in. I need one more set of wool and then the roof. And so for now, that is actually gonna do it. So yeah, a little more placing. Well, it was time to put in the redstone. And it still is. But I noticed something. This guy. And also somewhere, yes, this guy. I guess they can spawn in water. I mean, that sounds kind of strange, right? But I guess if there's a lightning storm, then they could spawn in water. And I've also realized as well that a lot of people light up their areas to stop mobs from spawning and things like that, kind of like we've done here. Surely in theory, if they can spawn in water, the lightning could strike here and they could spawn here too? So maybe nowhere's ever safe again. But I figured what's a really bad idea, but also a good idea, is to go and show you what happens when you get close to them. Because we mentioned them a few times, and we keep them around. We may as well go and find one, and I will show you the explosion process. Which one's closer? This guy, well, it's closer now because I'm swimming towards it. And then we will put in the redstone, but for now, I'll show you, man. This thing's scary. Now, I don't think you're going to be able to hear this, because I've realized, I mentioned the other day that I'm having problems where my sound disappears. Well, it seems like every time I open my recording software, my sound disappears. But here you go. This is what happens when you get close to these guys. Oh! Okay, this was a bad idea immediately, because now they're going to swim after me. They all kind of jump off their horses. I think it is all kind of broken still, but that's what happens. Kind of cool. They're going to be there forever, and that's definitely going to hurt the mob count. I'll grab my bow and we'll fix that later. I've frozen, I am not frozen. Things are good. So let me show you what's going on here. I was going to do this on camera, but I felt like it probably would be a little bit boring, so I didn't bother. What we've got going on is on each side we've got these torch towers, and along each of these rows is filled with dust. Now these rows here back on straight to the dispensers, is it? Yeah, dispensers, along there. Now that's what's going to dispense the water and push the mobs out, and this will make it do that on a timer. This here is the timer that we're going to use, and I believe everything's in place. It's a very, very simple one. If anybody knows redstone, you probably know exactly what this is and how it works. But the blocks will switch between these guys here, turning different comparators on, As it turns this one on, that's then going to move the piston and lock the other hopper, so all the items can flow to the other side. And at the same time, it's going to power this line, which has the exact same stuff on the other side. So, if I take some of these, you should see that in action. So we hear all of them click twice, which is just what we want to hear. Now, like I said before, I don't actually have enough of these guys, so the whole thing isn't done. But it's going to be okay. We're just going to kind of use it as a little part of it for now, until we've built up enough string to get more of these guys to finish the whole thing off. So, the next step, really, is to get a platform built. Now, I did mention before, I kind of built this a little bit lower than I planned. I mean, we're on 89, which isn't exactly low, but it means that, yeah, it's going to be pretty much sea level, but that said, we can always stand on top, and that would just make this area here spawnable anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. So I'm going to get the spawn platform in for now, and I think what we're actually going to need to do is just make it so that we kind of run back and forwards for a little while. That's simply because I don't have enough hoppers and won't for a long time. But we're going to kind of gradually get hoppers and build it in, so yeah, let's do that now. So whilst I did mention that we didn't have enough blocks for, well, enough iron to make that many hoppers, there is another way that we can do this, and that is with hopper carts. I do have enough iron, however, to make 6 carts, which would go across here, as well as enough hoppers to then feed out of the carts into a chest. Building this on sea level was a stupid idea, by the way. I'm very aware, and I regret it every day. But we do have enough stuff to do that. Now, the problem I've been hearing that happens is that when you unload the chunks, a lot of the times these hopper carts unload with it. And that could get expensive if we have to keep replacing them. But you know what? I'm actually just going to try it. We'll put them in. If they all despawn, then we tried. If they don't, perfect. We don't need that much iron. We'll just roll with it. But that's what we're going to try out. Well, just quickly whilst I'm back here, I'm just grabbing up all the gold that I have to make some of the powered rails. I figured I'd show you this. I have been using this quite a bit, and this has been extremely efficient. I've got the timings pretty good for the server now, if anyone's copying around. But if you guys are thinking of making one of these in your world, do it. It's so worth it. Look at these awesome things we've got. Let's have a look at the book. So we've got the Sharpness Depth Strider. I should probably put on my boots now, actually, whilst we're playing around in the water. Loads of really, really good books. I'll let you guys have a little look at these. We got a bunch of saddles. We got loads of fishing rods. A couple with mending, actually. And we even got a bow with mending, which is really cool. A power 4 mending bow, which is going to be really good, actually. So that's really cool. And that's how we got up to 36 levels as well from 28 when I was doing this. I didn't realize quite how much XP you got from fishing. But there you go. All right. I fell off, but I think we're good. It doesn't look great, and I've had to make a few little arrangements like this here. For some reason, these all kind of join up otherwise. I think if I maybe brought them out one more, I could be a little bit more efficient, but I think it's going to work out for now. So, the idea here is I'm going to throw all of these carts in, and then we're going to run up to the top. We're going to add the water. That should get rid of... Hello? Great. Alright, I think we're going to need a couple of blocks on the back here to stop that happening again. And I'm actually going to need to put some on the other side as well. Alright, well let's try that one again then. I've blocked up all of the edges, so hopefully they won't fall off. And let's throw these guys back in. I think I actually need to rebuild some of these actually. Yeah, it looks like I do. Let's put those back together. Let's throw the carts in. Did I put one on this one? Yes. Okay, and the last one, go in there. And now, in theory, if I haven't messed everything up, if I throw this nether brick just here, if we watch it for just, there we go, that looks like it got picked up. Let's go check the chest, and hopefully, yes, we are a success. So, let's go get these buckets of water in, and let's make some things happen. Oops, I kind of forgot to turn the clock off before I did this. Okay, I think we're safe. Let's take these out of the way. Now, the water's obviously going to push all the torches off. They'll get collected, no problem. And I've left some gaps, so we need to go fill those gaps. But whilst we're down there, we should be far enough away that bad things start happening. It's all going to be out of sync now, which is going to be kind of annoying, but I don't think that actually affects the efficiency, really. So we should be okay. Now, one thing we will see is things like this. This is not the most efficient, and it's actually extremely unattractive, which is probably fine. We're not really here to look at it, I guess. But hopefully, if we stand here for a second, we should start seeing bad things happen. And we will have to wait for the water to pull off, and then it will start spawning. I hope. If I've done this right. Maybe I shouldn't stand here. Well, of course it wasn't going to work because I'd left the sides off and the gap on the roof, so it was probably very light in there. I filled all of that stuff in, so possibly we'll get mob spawning now. There's light over there coming through that gap at the back. Alright, I have no idea if those slabs have actually worked. I tried a small test and it looked like having slabs just on the top level did actually change the light level. So that should work. But I think I'm way too close for this to spawn now, so let's run down to the bottom and let's find out if this thing is doing stuff. Now, I don't imagine this is going to spawn the craziest amounts of mobs in the whole entire world because it is just one level. But that said, it should get us a few, at least. Well, there's definitely a light level of 0 in here. I mean, all of this bit here, which I guess is the important part. I think maybe I'm just standing too close. Alright, I'm kind of lost. I have filled these in with actual blocks rather than half slabs. I filled in the sides, apart from this tiny piece here, but still the block light level is 0 everywhere. Even before I did this, but I figured I'd do it because the lighting glitch was making it look a little bit more light in here than it actually was. But still nothing. And I'm kind of confused. Everything around here is ugly, it's all a mess. I'll clean it up as soon as it works, but I don't know what to do now. I'm sure I've missed something obvious, or I'm doing something very wrong. And I'm sure those of you who are watching that know about this kind of stuff know what I'm doing wrong. Please tell me, because I'm kind of confused. Can these guys go through Nether Portals? No, I figured no. But yeah, I'm going to call the episode there because this whole thing has taken me way longer than it probably looked. Probably longer than it should have. I'm going to leave my guy AFKing here, obviously not the spectator account. I know that he probably doesn't make any effect to mobs. But yeah, meh. Disappointed, a little bit lost, but we're going to figure this out. We are going to make this thing work. So, of course, if you have enjoyed the building of this episode, this thing does seem to work fine on a creative world, so I'm sure it's just something silly about what I've done or where I've placed it. I have looked. I know I really shouldn't have, and I'm sorry, Tom. I did have a look. This is way too far to be a problem anyway, but there aren't even mobs down here, so it's not like this isn't working because that's spawning. Even when I'm up here, if I'm on one of these trees, for example, with my normal player, I know, nothing seems to happen. So, please tell me what I've done wrong, and yeah, if you have enjoyed it, do go ahead, do all the things, and I'll see you next time.